No, what you need to understand is when you are in politics, there is only one important interest to always protect in politics. And the interest is just the interest of the people. And when they say the people, it means the majority. And that is the reason why I have made the decision of leaving APC. Leaving APC today is a blessing in disguise for me as a politician. Because me coming into politics is to come and fight for the people of Okiogun, who we believe that have been marginalized, for so long. Okiogun is an agrarian area that occupies about 60% of our land in Oyo State, 10 local governments, and yet Okiogun has not even produced a governor before in the history of politics in Oyo State. Bayelsa is a state with just 8 local governments. In our senatorial district today, we have 13 local governments. When even in Bayelsa, 8 local government states will produce 3 senators within just those 8 local governments. And in Oyo State, in Okiogun, that's Oyo North Senatorial District, you have 13 local government for 1 senator. So these 10 local government area that have been clamoring, why? Within the last 3 years of my life, I've been focused at developing young leaders in Nigeria. And I'm sure with Lead Generation Initiative, you can see what we have done in the space of about 2 years. Lead Generation Initiative, we have trained about 1,700 young Nigerians in building their interest in nation building, developing their leadership skills, active citizenship, political mobilization and political organizing. And every state that we go to, there's a train-the-trainer model scheme where we will train a number of people and we allow them to go and train others. So today, we have trained over 1,700 people, and those 1,700 people have been trained over 100,000 people. Leave that aside and come to what we did with We Together. We Together NG is another initiative that wants to develop a new system that will require to drive Nigeria forward. At We Together, we put Nigeria interest first, before our political ideology, before our religion, and before our ethnicity. But in a party where we've done World Congress since last year, until the time that I left APC, there was no result for World Congress. There was no result for local government Congress. So it means that the people at the grassroots, the young people, the old women, people with disability, they will be forced to be at the mercy of just maybe some 4 or 5 people that will put themselves in a room under AC, and they'll be deciding fate for people. So it's still the same thing that is happening. So internal democracy can never function in that kind of environment. And that is why in Okiogun, we believe that it is high time for us to identify a political party, one that will recognize us. Because it means what is happening at the state level at APC, the people that are handling the affairs of the party at the state level are not recognizing the Okiogun people. So the only reason why I've decided to join Accord Party is that is the only party, the first party that could listen to the yearning of the people of Okiogun and see the reason why they have to zone their senatorial ticket to Okiogun. That's one. Number 2, voter sensitization is very important. I see Accord Party as a party that is easy for me, to sell, to the people of Okiogun. 1, the party comes ahead of APC and PDP on the ballot paper. 2, the party's sign is the thumb, and it reminds me of my civic responsibility as a citizen of this country, which of course will remind any good thinking person of what to do. APC is broom. You didn't bring broom to this world, and there's always a substitute for your broom. Where there's no broom, you can get Hoover. PDP is an umbrella. You did not bring the umbrella to this world. If there's no umbrella, you can stay under the tent. But if you cut off your tongue, there's no substitute for it. You understand what I'm saying? So I relate more, with what Accord stands for.
the ethics, the direction, the internet democracy, recognition of young people, women, people with disability. I see that with Accord Party, I think we can have a new system. And whether we like it or not, people have been complaining about change in Nigeria for the past 40 years. Why they have not achieved that change is because they keep fighting the failed system.
God has created Nigeria with so much resources, both human resources and natural resources. But all these resources cannot translate itself to results except you have good leadership. And the only way you can identify that leadership is during the electioneering year. And not just an electioneering year, but a year that the country is going into transition, as it is going to happen in 2023. We won't have an incumbent president at the polls. So which means that this is the time that we must get it right. And an average youth in Nigeria now must see that it is not their right. They have to make sure that they fight for it. They have to make sure that they rise up, to the challenge of rebuilding this country, which starts from identifying who the leaders should be. And it is at this time, because whether you like it or not, because of the existence of internet, technology, telephone, social media, an average Nigerian youth has been overexposed, because an 18-year-old person in Ibadan today is competing directly with his or her mate in South Korea, in America, in the UK, or anywhere in the world. Why? Because of internet. The first tool that you should have to make this work is your PVC. So if you don't have this PVC, you have just become a liability. So this is the time for people to see this, and this is the time for people to identify leaders by competence, not by money. If you have a company now, you want to hire an MD for that company, you will tell them you need this qualification, you need this age. Do we put that into consideration before identifying who our leaders should be? We don't. So these are the things that must change now. And the youth, they must rise up, to this challenge. Because youth is not an entitlement. The people that you are calling leaders today, they were youth 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So the youth of today, you must understand that tomorrow you are going to be the leaders of tomorrow. And the people coming behind are going to question you and begin to pack you with those leaders that have taken Nigeria to where Nigeria is. So we have good opportunity for us to rebuild our country. And the youth will play an important role. And for the the older generation too, it is not that it's not that youth is an entitlement that by force or by fire you must make sure that we have a youth president. No, but even the older generations too now must show to the youth that they have a plan, to carry the youth along, and not just a plan by mouth, but a plan by action. Start from now. Show us what you want to do for us and